Hello students, in the previous video under the Pharmacy Act we had seen the functions of the Pharmacy Council of India, terms of office and the casual vacancies, and the approval of institution or authorities providing the courses of study and examination. Now today we will see the Central Register, powers of the Inspector, State Pharmacy Council and Joint State Pharmacy Council, and the registration of the pharmacist under the Pharmacy Act 1948. So let's start with the Central Register. Under the provision of the Section 15A of the Amendment Act 1976, Central Council has to maintain in a prescribed manner a register of pharmacists to be known as the Central Register, which contains the name of all persons whose name are entered in the register for the state. Every state council has to supply a 5 copy of a register for a state to the Central Council as soon as after the first day of April every year. And Registrar of the State Council should also inform all additions and other amendments in the register for a state without delay to the Central Council. Registrar of the Central Council has to keep the Central Register in accordance with the order made by the Central Council and should revise the Central Register from time to time and publish it in the Gazette of the India. After receiving the report of the registration of a person in a register for a state, the Registrar of a Central Council enter the name of such person in the Central Register. Next is the State Pharmacy Council. Pharmacy Act under the Chapter 3 provides for the constitution of the State Pharmacy Council by every state except where a joint state council is constituted in accordance with the agreement made under the Section 20. 2 or more states may also agree whereby the Pharmacy Council of one state may serve the needs of other agreeing state or the states. The constitution of the State Pharmacy Council is the elected member in which the 6 members elected amongst themselves by the registered pharmacist of the state. 1 member elected by a member of the Medical Council of State amongst themselves. Nominated member include the 5 members nominated by the state government, of whom at least 3 shall be a person possessing a prescribed degree or diploma in pharmacy, pharmaceutical chemistry, or a registered pharmacist. And the ex officio members include Chief Administrative Medical Officer of the state, the officer in charge of the Drug Control Organization of the state appointed under Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, and a government analyst appointed under the Drug and Cosmetic Act and 1940, and if there are more than one such analyst, one may be nominated by the government. Next is the constitution of the Joint State Pharmacy Council. As provided in the agreement, not less than 3 and not more than 5 members are elected amongst the registered pharmacists. As agreement provides, not less than 2 and not more than 4 members are nominated by each participating state government, of whom more than half should possess a degree or diploma in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry or be a registered pharmacist. 1 member elected by the member of each medical council from amongst themselves of each participating state. The ex officio member include Chief Administrative Medical Officer of each participating state, officer in charge of Drug Control Organization of each participating state under DNC Act 1940, and a government analyst appointed under the DNC Act 1940 of each participating state. Where 2 or more states enter into an agreement whereby the State Pharmacy Council of one state serves the need of the other state or the states. The membership of the State Pharmacy Council may be augmented by not more than 2 persons nominated by each of the state government, of which at least one always have a degree or diploma in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry or a registered pharmacist. Every state council and joint state council are corporate bodies as notified by the state government or determined in the agreement as the case may be, and having a perpetual succession and common seal, with a power to acquire or hold movable and immovable property. Next is the election and the terms of office. The member of the State Pharmacy Council elects the President and Vice President amongst themselves, provided that for a period of 5 years from the first constitution of a State Council, the State Government nominate the President to hold office for the 5 years. When the President is not already a member of Council, he becomes an additional member of the State Council. The President and Vice President hold office for a term not exceeding 5 years and not extending beyond the expiry of his term as a member of Council, but being a member of the Council, he can be eligible for the re-election. The nominated or elected member hold office for a term of 5 years from the date of his nomination or the election. A nominated or the elected member at any time resign his membership by writing to the President, and such seat thereupon become a vacant. If any member is absent without excuse sufficient in the opinion of the State Council for 3 consecutive meetings of the State Council, he shall be deemed to have a vacant his seat. The member who is elected from amongst themselves, either by the registered pharmacist or by the member of the Medical Council of the state or Council of Medical Registration of the state, as the case may be, shall have to vacate his seat as a member of the State Council if he cases to be registered pharmacist or by the registered pharmacist or by the Medical Council of the state or Council of the Medical Registration of the state, as the case may be, shall have to vacate his seat as a member of the State Council if he ceases to be a registered pharmacist or ceases to be a member of the Medical Council or Council of the Medical Registration of the state, as the case may be. A casual vacancy in the State Council filled by a fresh nomination or election, as the case may be, and the person nominated or elected to fill such vacancy hold office only for the remainder of the term for whose place he takes. Next is the inspection. A state council with the previous sanction of the state government may appoint a sufficient number of the inspectors have a prescribed qualification. An inspector may inspect any premises where the drugs are compounded and dispensed. Inquire whether a person who is engaged in compounding or dispensing of a drug is a registered pharmacist or not. Investigate any complaint made in writing in respect of any contravention of his act. Institute prosecution under the order of the Executive Committee of the State Council. An inspector can exercise such other power as may be necessary to give the effect to some provision of this act. Every inspector shall be deemed to be a public servant within the meaning of the section 21 of the Indian Penal Code. Any person willfully obstructing an inspector in the exercise of the powers conferred on him by or under this act or any rule made thereunder shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months or fine of ₹1,000 or both. Next is the registration of the pharmacist. The privilege of the profession of pharmacy can be restricted by allowing the entry to only those persons who have requisite scientific and professional knowledge in the profession of the pharmacy. Registration of pharmacists restrict the quality of a personnel entering the profession and also confers certain privileges on those who are already in it and make them realize their duties and responsibilities. The Pharmacy Act 1948 under this chapter provides for the registration of a pharmacist in all states in the India. As soon as after this chapter he taken effect in the state, the first register of a pharmacist is required to be prepared by the state government concerned. The State Pharmacy Council is to be constituted soon after the preparation of first register, and once State Council has been constituted, the register is to be handed over to it. The State Council then has to be responsible for the maintenance of the register. The register shall include the following particulars, that is the full name and the residential address of the registered person, the date of his first admission to the register, his qualification for the registration, his professional address, and if he is employed by any person, the name of such person, and such further particulars as may be prescribed. Hope you all are understand with this topic. Thank you very much.